Hi YouTube! I wanted to come on here and give you guys a graphic design related video. If this is your first impression of me and you see the ears plus the shirt, just know I'm living by this quote right here. So I'm trying to get a little whimsy going in my life, and these costed a pretty penny, so I'm gonna wear them, and they're so cute. So yeah, let's just ignore that. I'm just trying to put some whimsy into my life, and I thought that these would be a good thing to do today. But for today's video, I wanted to look at some Reddit graphic design stories. So I thought that would be a good thing for us to do today, kind of get back into the swing of things and kind of ease our way into the graphic design theme. If you guys didn't know, I have a degree in graphic design. I got my degree from the University of Alabama in 2024 is when I graduated. So I have a BFA in graphic design. So I think that some of these, I've already looked through these, but it's been about a month or two since I've looked at them. So I kind of forgot what I put in here, but hopefully we see some good stuff. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Comment down below if I missed anything or if you have a different opinion than I do, because I'm gonna try to give my opinion after I read through the whole entire thing. Comment your thoughts on this topic. Let me know if you guys also are graphic designers. I currently do graphic design full-time and freelance on the side, so I kind of have a good bit of understanding as to the experience of graphic design. I'm gonna put the story here on the side. That's why I'm kind of off center right now, so that way you guys can see what I see as I go through. Story number 1. We have, let's start off with something positive. I labeled this one as positive experience landing a job, motivational testimony. Let's see what they have to say. This is from Mystery Rotisserie. I love when there's silly little names on Reddit. It really just makes it more interesting. But this one is posted in the r/graphic_design subreddit from a year ago. Maybe this is over a year ago, but it says 1 year ago. I landed my first 6-figure graphic design job with 3 years of experience. With that amount of experience is already great. Sorry guys, I'm not used to talking this much and it makes me nervous turning on the camera, so I'm a little rusty when it comes to filming. And I'm talking with my hands a lot with my nail gone, so that's embarrassing. A few months ago, I didn't think I was worth anything near 6 figures. I'm still inexperienced in many areas that could use improvement, and I still have a lot to learn. But my commitment to creating the most value out of what I do have is what got me here. Being confident in your potential is already half the legwork. When you know you can do better, be better. I'm sharing a few things I did to help me land a new job. Not all of these may be for you, and not all of them may be the right approach, but maybe it'll help somebody out there just a little. I agree with that fully. Like, the saying, fake it till you make it, is so true, because you really do, especially when it's something creative like a graphic design role, you really have to fake it till you make it. Even if you don't have what it takes, even if you think you don't have what it takes, you do have what it takes. It's just when you get in your head about things, it's kind of hard to nail it down, So I love that they said that. So let's see what they have to say about the process or the tips that they put, you know. So they have the application stage and the interview stage. I think I'm just gonna, like, I'm not gonna read this whole thing out loud, but I am gonna put the links to all these below, so if you want to read them fully, you can, because they also have an extensive edit section that they put. So I don't think I have the breath to say all that, but I do want to skim through it for you guys. So for the application stage, applying within 48 hours of the listing being posted, your chances of being seen are much higher. This is true. You have to be really quick, because jobs like graphic design jobs, they get snatched up like that. Like, you have to be very quick and very intentional too, but you have to be quick. I would say don't apply to just anything, but also be very, have the notifications on for these jobs, so you'll know who's posting jobs and when to apply, stuff like that. And take a look at your resume and see what you can do to improve it. Yes, definitely. So if your resume looks bad, especially as a graphic designer, they're gonna throw it in the garbage. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You need to make sure your resume looks flawless, which they go into, like, your skills that you need to include, the layout, and the single page, single column method, which is true with the scannability, because they say, like, make it easy to scan with your eyes. That's true. You want to make sure it's very dynamic. As a graphic designer, you should know how to do this, so just kind of test it out a little, and don't be afraid to look online for tips, and look online for maybe Reddit posts like this that give you tips. Like, try to use your resources. The internet's free. Ideally, it's free, you know. You can go to the library, and if you don't have Wi-Fi or something, I've been there, but just try to use your resources to the best you can. Like, TikTok is very easily accessible, YouTube very easily accessible, Reddit very easily accessible. So just make sure that you're not just doing it blindly, and you don't have to struggle by yourself. Like, there's resources to help you with this stuff. This secondary bullet point that says, my resume was simple, black and white, without any fancy fonts, a clean typeface, and good hierarchy and layout skills. That is true. My personal resume is not in black and white. It's my brand colors, which, if you're gonna have a brand, you can have your resume, like, be inspired by this brand that you create for yourself, but don't go overboard with it. So I think that's what they're saying, is keep it simple. Write a cover letter. Yes, I'm gonna just say yes, definitely. Revamp your portfolio, add a new project. Guys, please have a portfolio when you apply to these jobs. It makes a way much more of a difference. That wasn't grammatically correct, but it makes so much more of a difference to have a portfolio in your application. Like, you're gonna wow them if you have really strong projects. You don't have to have a lot of projects, but you have to make it known that you know what you're doing, because they can't see what you can do just from your resume. Even if you put your design skills into creating your resume, you still have to show that you know how to collaborate on projects, and try to don't just put your school projects. Make sure you put some other stuff in there too. This person says, have some fun. I included a small Easter egg for a niche interest in one of my portfolio projects, and one of my interviewers pointed it out. It might not mean much, but it can build positive rapport. That could be a thing. You don't have to do that, but it is fun to have fun things because you're applying for a creative job, you know? So that's good. And then we get into the interview portion. You want to do some research on the company and learn about recent work that they did. Scour their LinkedIn and other social media to learn about them. In doing this, I learned that the company was going through a rebrand. I leveraged this info in my interview and helped position myself as a candidate that can help grow and evolve their brand/work. I do agree with this, but I think this should be before the application, if you have the time, I would say, because you want to kind of include that in your resume when you're submitting it. Like, you can shuffle around your resume and your portfolio to hone it in on what this company is about and put that into your resume and your portfolio. It's going to be, and your cover letter, of course. So this is really good. Always research the company that you're applying to. Like, don't just willy-nilly just apply to anything and not do any research. Even though you want to be quick about applying to these things, don't do too much of like speed running these, because speed running job applications is never a good thing. So yeah, paste the job description into ChatGPT and have it create some sample interview questions. You don't have to do this. A lot of people don't like AI. If you don't want to do that, you can just literally Google like the type of job you're applying to and then put interview questions behind it, and you'll find some answers on Google. And obviously practice. It has a second bullet point that says practice your interview answers. I was very much over prepared, but it made my interview process way more streamlined and feel more natural. That's true. It's better to be more prepared than less prepared, definitely. So make sure you're doing that. I agree with that. They go into answering like a few specific interview questions, which you can do. Sell it like you know what you're talking about. If you get stuck, shift the discussion towards your eagerness to learn more. I agree with this. I'm trying to think back to my interview. I can't remember one that I kind of, I guess, faked it for the interview. I can't really think of one for that, but I will say that this is a good tip, you know. I feel like when you get into an interview, you gotta be quick on your feet to think of stuff, so that's understandable. Ask questions at the end of the interview. 100%. Yes, please ask questions, guys. When they ask, like, if you have any questions for them, do not say no. Make sure you have questions prepared, a good bit of them. This person has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions and a bonus question. The bonus says if you can come up with a question based on something they mentioned during the interview, it shows you're paying attention and interested in learning more. Yes, please don't zone out. I know it's hard because your brain's like on autopilot and you're trying to stick to the script, but please pay attention so you can ask questions later. It's gonna work. And then the last tip, be polite. Send a follow-up email to thank them for their time. I typically waited 2 to 3 days to send one. I agree, definitely. I mean, any person with common sense is gonna be polite, but for the follow-up email, I would send the email like probably, if it's at the beginning of the day, that same day, or if it's towards the end of the day, then first thing the next day. Because I wouldn't wait 2 to 3 days, because my job reached out to me by that third day, and so I feel like sending one sooner is probably better, because it definitely will hone in on you being interested. So yeah, I would say don't like walk right out of the interview and then immediately send the email, but definitely do it sooner rather than later. I know the job market is tough right now. At some point, I even thought about changing careers. But if you believe you're the best at what you do and you believe in your worth, then you won't give up. I really wasn't consistent with my applications or the quality of my portfolio or resume at all throughout my journey to find a new job. I wasted a lot of time procrastinating and pitying myself, but I was persistent. I demanded the best of myself each time I came up with something new. I know it's easy to say now on the other side of the road, but I promise you it will be okay. Give it all you can so you know you didn't leave anything on the table. Don't forget to take breaks, stretch, and breathe. Good luck. And I think that is so sweet. Like, I love that. Make sure you stay patient, stay consistent. Consistency is literally the best. Like, I know that's very cliche, but consistency is the best way to do things. So, yes, guys, that was the first one. Here it is once again for you guys to see. All right, that was our positive one. Let's move on to the different career route options. This one is also posted in the r/graphic design, also from a year or more ago. And this user's name is Lakeisha. So let's see what she has to say. He or she has to say. The title says, been a graphic designer for many years and still suck at coming up with concepts. So first of all, never say you suck. I'm gonna be cliche. I'm gonna be cliche and say never talk down on yourself, but I get where they're coming from. Like, you just have everybody has their certain strengths, and you can't be good at everything. And me personally, I'm one of those types of people where I get really frustrated if I'm not good at everything. And I'm very much instant gratification type of person. I definitely feel this on a whole nother level. So let's see what they have to say. I hate it so much. I can do projects where I'm given the assets already or given a directive that is super clear. However, when I get a mood board or inspiration board or something vague, my whole brain goes out the window. It's like everything goes blank. Then I jump straight to the computer and do tasks that are totally unnecessary, waste time on things that will probably be useless for the project. Then I course correct by making sketches like I should have in the first place, but even that drives me crazy. My mind can't even latch to ideas. I've never, as long as I've lived, been good at creating concepts. This is relatable, guys. I don't want to, I haven't even read the full thing, but it sounds like burnout. This person is a freelancer because they go on to say, I have concepts due Tuesday for my client. So this person is more than likely a freelancer. I have concepts due Tuesday for my client. Been banging around uselessly for a whole week. I'm also doing other design jobs at the same time. Yes. I can tell my supervisor is as usual. Oh, no. They're not a freelancer. They have a supervisor. I can tell my supervisor is as usual irritated and disappointed that yet again I'm lacking and taking longer than the junior designer is. Oh, so they're a senior designer. The more I'm reading, the more context I'm getting. So, okay, so they're a senior designer working for a company. They have multiple design jobs lined up that they're working on, and they're basically dilly-dallying because they're burnt out. I totally understand. That pressure makes it worse. It feels embarrassing, especially when this advice I'm seeking is usually for beginner designers. When I finally get past the hurdle, the designs turn out fine, but this part is pure agony. I hate people over my shoulder. I honestly think something's wrong with my brain. No, there is, but I need to make concepts no matter what. They told their supervisor, and the supervisor and coworkers helped them. So yeah, that's that's that one. This first reply says, "You, my friend, are a production designer." And then somebody says, "As a production designer, can confirm, blah, blah, blah." I think this one is kind of definitely burnout. And this happened a lot to me in school. In college, you're kind of forced to work even when you don't want to, and you have so many other classes and other responsibilities going on. Maybe you're in clubs, maybe you have jobs, like you have a lot going on, and they still expect you to have these projects that full-time designers do. When you're working a 9 to 5, you are forced to be there every day, 9 to 5. Like, you can't take a break except for the weekends and the evenings. So it's kind of easy to fall into that routine, and then it just gets boring, repetitive. Your brain kind of wants to have fun more and doesn't want to do this boring stuff anymore. And then it's hard for you to work on personal projects because you're burnt out from your full-time job. So definitely understandable. I get it. Let's look at number 3. This one is also from r/graphic design. The person's name is me lol okay bye. Oh, okay. Me lol okay bye. That's what this person's name is. So let's see what me lol okay bye has to say. Okay, they said, their title says, "Am I insane, or is the job market for graphic design hard as hell?" Like I kind of said earlier, it took so long for me to find my current job, and I'm really happy at this current job. The job market is really hard right now. So, like I said before, don't give up and be consistent, and something will happen. If you really want it, it will happen. I'm telling you. Let's see what this person has to say. And this was 10 months ago, too, by the way. "I'm a graphic designer, and I've been in the industry for about 5 years now. I've designed everything from social media posts to billboards and airports to app mock-ups for entertainment companies. I've done it all and do it well and really love this industry very much. I've been applying for more senior roles and I'm finding it very hard to find something. I've only been doing it for about a month and I plan on giving myself about a year to find something that is as great as the job I have now but pays me more." So real. I see they're saying "however" in the next paragraph, but we can stop it there and kind of debrief. So they've been in the industry for about 5 years, very long time for getting the hang of stuff. I don't think that employers realize that 3 to 5 years is a really long time. Once you get over the hurdle of year 2, I think that you know what you're doing. So 3 to 5 years is a great amount of time. And then also it says that they're applying to more senior roles and finding it very hard to find something. But I don't know, is 5 years enough time? Is 5 years enough experience for you to apply to a senior role? I actually have no idea. So let me know in the comments below if 5 years equates to senior graphic design roles. I have no idea. So let's see. However, it just seems like everyone is denying my application for roles that I meet or even surpass in some instances. Maybe it could be the salary that I'm requesting, or maybe it's a specific area of expertise they're looking for, but all in all, the jobs I'm applying for are the same. I thought it was me and had my resume professionally reviewed, and I've also had my portfolio reviewed by 2 art directors that I know and appreciate. One having 10 years of experience, one having 25. Okay. I guess what's confusing me is not how long it's taking me to find something, but the amount of rejections that I'm getting. I don't know if they mean getting rejected, like not even getting to the interview phase, or rejecting like they're getting to the interviews and still getting rejected. But they said that they do have resume and portfolio and have had them reviewed by other people, which is very good. Maybe the problem is applying to senior roles, but I don't know because I don't have any experience in senior roles or in art direction. I do want to specify that I'm currently a marketing manager and don't mind taking on roles that include more than just design. I definitely understand that I'm going to need more than experience in graphic design, so I'm very well versed in like website building on Squarespace. Hoping to try Webflow soon. I don't know what Webflow is. Basic HTML/CSS. That's good to know. That's really good to know as a designer. I like this first reply. I haven't looked at all the replies, but I like this. This is a good Reddit post because this is a very common concern, and I definitely relate to it. The graphic design industry is very oversaturated, and that's kind of what this first reply is kind of hitting at, is that this person says, try to find local, hybrid, or in-office roles as you'll have less competition. Graphic design is one of the fields plagued by remote work. Now one role has thousands of applicants instead of the local 20 to 30. You basically have to be the absolute best in order to get selected for any remote role. This is very true. I gave up with applying to remote jobs. Don't even waste your time. Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say don't waste your time. But don't only go for remote jobs when you're applying, because you're going to just get lost in that sea of resumes. Like it's going to be like very hard to get to that interview stage. And then this person replied to this comment and said that I found the most success in leaning into a specialty/niche. Very true, because if you're too broad, they kind of think that you're, I don't want to, because they said that they wear a lot of hats and don't mind doing so. I think that leaning into a niche and applying to those niches is probably the best thing to do. This person said that theirs is data visualization, and the field is small enough that you can definitely stand out if you have done a lot of data visualization and infographic work. So, especially if it's with a larger pharmaceutical, law, financial, or real estate company, they have the money to pay for a graphic designer and data visualization specialist. And they also allow fully remote work situations. I think this is a good one to look at. So, yep, that's number 3. Yeah, 4 more. Our next one is there any hope with AI on the rise? Let's see what this is talking about. This one was posted 9 months ago to the r/graphic design subreddit. The person's name is over-type-07. So, over-type-07. And their title says, I believe AI will replace graphic designers fast. What do we do next? ? This is probably like the most common concern when it comes to, anytime I tell anybody that I'm a graphic designer, they're like, what about AI? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, I feel like this is such a loaded question. So they say, what will we do next? So let's read what they have to say. I forgot what they said in this, so I'm a little excited to see what they're gonna say and what the replies are gonna say. This one's not that long. I've been researching this and I see, did I say this was 9 months ago? This was 9 months ago, by the way. I've been researching this and I see many sources online saying, oh, it's okay, AI can't do creative thinking, you're fine for the time being. This seems willfully ignorant and naive! ! Sure, maybe some very high level graphic designers can shift into more creative and critical design thinking type roles where AI is utilized, but the human still has a job. But what about the vast majority of mid level graphic designers out there? In what seems like 5 minutes, AI has gotten insanely good at creating designs that most people would say do the job quite well. Most people are fine with that, and most people are the majority of my clients as a self-employed graphic designer, so they're a freelancer. They don't need or demand incredible, bold graphic design. They need logos, ads, packaging, etc. So, yeah, this one only has one upvote. Has 35 replies. Let's see what people are saying. Let's sort it by newest because I want to see the newest. The newest response says most of the responses to this are simply delusional. People are highly protective of their careers and just don't like to face up to the truth of what's going on. Oh my gosh. Well, it isn't good in my opinion. I hear a lot of what all the artists are saying and agree with them. But, and it is a big but, most clients just don't care, especially in most small to medium-sized businesses that handle local or regional clients. I'm a screen printer, so I do a lot of art for events, some big, some small, mostly in the motocross world. Somebody else said, I believe there is room for both. But in my case, I needed to re-update my logo when I originally had somebody make it for me. I'm not sure how they made it, but I was able to upload it to AI and change the logo and the wording and the fonts and the sizing, and that the A that I use automatically corrected itself and noticed this mistake and kept correcting it. It was pretty amazing. It was a couple of hours to get it right, and then today I did some editing and trying to figure out the correct way out. Honestly, if I had to go to a graphic designer, this would have probably been a week's worth of work back and forth dealing with their schedule. What is wrong with these people? This would not have taken a week to change how this logo looked, but whatever. I don't know. Everybody works different, but I don't know. But I know that that's weird. That's weird activity, but that's just me. These responses are crazy. Reddit is a very unhinged place, I'm just gonna say. Your role as a designer hasn't changed. You now have another tool you can use to produce designers. Only now it's a lot easier for others to generate designs that can be passed off as good enough. But you have to realize that the good designs are going to come from someone who's already good at graphic design or learning from using these AI tools to become good enough at it. So so much to unpack here. I don't know. This subject is very touchy. I obviously don't think that AI should be completely replacing graphic designers. Like, that's insane. It's not even to the point where that could even happen. But it is a very real concern because there are a lot of people who just want it to be good enough, like this person said. They just want it to be good enough and just pass it along, and they don't care that it's taking jobs out of people's hands because it means that they can keep the money with them, and they don't have to pay anyone. They could pay a $20 subscription to ChatGPT and have it come up with something quick and easy, and it will look mid, but they don't care. They just want something. And you can go back and have it corrected and blah blah blah. But it's a little scary. Yeah. And I don't see the vision. I'm just gonna say that. Next one. This is, I kind of lost count of which one we're on. I didn't number these, but this one was also 9 months ago. They posted to this is a different subreddit. This is r/graphic designing instead of graphic_design. The account is deleted, so there's no account name, but this one says, the title of this one is, How Do I Start Freelancing as a Graphic Designer? The age-old question, I should say. This is the age-old question for real. It's really hard to get started. I get this. Before I even read it, I just understand. These are struggles. That's why I picked these, because they're just struggles. Graphic design is just one big struggle, guys. Don't do it. Okay, let's read. Hey everyone, I'm a self-taught graphic designer. Oh, self-taught. Okay. And I've been working on poster designs and creative visuals for a while now. Lately, I've been thinking seriously about freelancing, but I'm honestly not sure where to start. I really appreciate any advice on how to get my first clients, especially without much of a network, whether Fiverr, Upwork, or Instagram is a better place to begin, what kind of work gets the most attention or demand right now, how to price my work as a beginner, mistakes to avoid when starting out. Also, how important is it to have a full portfolio or website before offering services? If anyone here started from scratch and managed to build something up, I'd love to hear your story. I'm motivated. I just need some direction. Thanks in advance for the help. So, like I said, I am not fully in the realm of having like a clientele built up for my freelance projects, but I do it from time to time. And the main things that I do want to say is, you don't have to start out with Fiverr, Upwork. You can start out on Instagram, and you definitely need a portfolio, in my opinion. This is all my opinion. Everything I say is my opinion in this video, by the way. But I think Instagram, building up a rapport with your Instagram followers is probably going to be the best way. The kind of work that gets the most attention or demand right now kind of depends on you, honestly. But like I said earlier, book talk is still popping off, guys. Like, if you guys want to design some book covers for people, they're all over the place. Like, you can just say like book cover designer or something, and you put that as a hashtag on TikTok or Instagram, and you're gonna get somebody at least asking. And for pricing, I still struggle with this. I still struggle with pricing because it's kind of hard to think like, how much do I want to say I make per hour? What's my dream number? Is that too much? How do you count an hour? Like, how do you count an hour of what your work is? Like, how do you know how long it's gonna take? It's really just trial and error. You're not gonna get through this without mistakes. And also, ask for a deposit, guys. Ask for a deposit. Don't do any work without a deposit. Don't even mood board without a deposit. I just want to say that, because people will back out and say that you have a non-refundable deposit. Please, if it's like $20, $30, just do that. Please do that, because people are iffy when you're freelancing. That's another thing. You can't trust anybody with freelance stuff, even if they're your friend or your family or whatever. Just ask for a little deposit, little $20. Then they're like, okay, I already gave her $20. I might as well follow through with it. Like, please, guys, please. So, yeah. So that's my 2 cents. Let's see if anybody has anything to say. Meet business owners, go to networking events, walk into businesses, and build rapport. Use Instagram for recognition and connecting. Use Upwork/Fiverr for cheap jobs till you get the ball rolling and increase prices. Doesn't matter what kind of work gets attention. Do what works for you. Do what work you want to do and do it well. Price your work in a package or hourly if the scope falls outside of that. Charge what you think you're worth after doing research for comparison. Avoid lack of communication and follow-up. Do what you're going to do when you say. Have genuine interest in helping someone by way of your skill set. If you have no proof of work to show what you're made of, it will be harder for someone to purchase your services. Would you buy a house from a builder without seeing some he's done before? Big investment, big risk. Make an easy decision for them. This is the most solid thing ever. Literally, the only thing I didn't say was the deposit thing and the go to networking events. That's also great. Last year, I had 2 of my own networking events that I came up with. And I really want to do more, but life got in the way and I want to get back on there and do it again. But I had 2 networking events right before I started my current job. And I don't want to say it's related to that, but I want to say that I was pretty consistent at that point. And the ball was rolling. And so once you get the ball rolling, it's like going to fall into place. I promise you guys. So this is so solid. I agree with this fully. Let's see. What else do we have? Next we have one from over a year ago in the r/graphic_design subreddit. This person's name is SanBX, so SANBX. And the title of theirs, this one's a short one. The title of theirs is "Anyone Here Who Taught Themselves Graphic Design? How did you do it? This one won't apply to me because, like I said, I went to school for graphic design. So I just wanted to put this here in case anyone watching is self-taught or wanting to teach themselves. I still wanted to include this in here for you guys. So this is what this one says. Hi everyone, I'm curious if there are any self-taught graphic designers here. If you've mastered tools like Adobe Creative Suite and graphic design theory on your own, I'd love to hear about your journey. What resources did you use? Books, online courses, YouTube tutorials, or something else? How did you approach learning both the technical tools and the principles of good design? Any tips or advice for someone just starting out would be amazing. Thanks in advance. And I wanted to link this one because there's 36 replies, and I think that Reddit, they love to help each other. And so I wanted to put this one in here. I'm going to obviously have it linked. Under the very first comment under best, they have a bunch of linked threads that you can look at. But yeah, I just wanted to put this in here for you guys. I don't have anything to contribute to this one just because of the fact that I went to school for it. I just want to say that there's still some things that I teach myself even outside of school. I'm still learning and experimenting with new ideas and techniques. So I literally just watched a video yesterday of me learning a technique from somebody on Adobe Illustrator. So there's still so much to learn. In the 4 years that you get a graphic design degree, you don't know everything. That's literally just covering your bases. You still have to learn a lot of the stuff on your own. But when you're teaching yourself the whole thing, it can get really tough. Because for me right now, I'm teaching myself HTML and CSS, and it's tough. It's tough, you guys. It's tough to teach yourself because you have no curriculum to go off of. You're literally just going for it, and it's tough. Okay, we only have one more. Okay, this last one is really popular. This one was posted to r/graphic_design once again, and it is from 3 years ago, and the person's name is Media Poison. So the title of it says, I got into graphic design because I thought it would be fun. Big mistake. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But it is a lot of fun. It's very fun. I love that I get to do this every single day. And I love that I'm talking to you guys about it. Hopefully every day. We'll see. But yeah. Let's read what they have to say about this one. I'm really excited. Like I said, I curated this a long time ago, so I kind of forgot what these said when I went into it. I just have I saved them and then wrote notes about each one. So let's see what this person has to say. And this one has 261 replies, so it's very popular. Okay, it says, turns out it's a lot of work and a lot of guesswork and rework. When kids say, I want to do graphic design, I think, no, you don't. I don't know why this is making me so, this is making me laugh. I don't know. Okay, let's keep reading. I feel like no matter what you do, if you do it for money, you will always be under the control of someone else. I spend hours just making type bold or changing it back, moving little things around. Sometimes I get to pick colors. Fonts are usually determined by the trendy fonts of today. Am I just a baby, or does everyone else feel like that? I think, I don't want to say, but I think you're being a baby. No, because you can do graphic design in your free time too. When you're doing it for work, it's a different type of thing. You're literally working. You're in work brain mode. So when you're doing it in your free time, you get to do whatever you want. Nobody said that you have to only do your 9 to 5. And then, I know you would probably want to take a break from graphic design, but you don't have to just do that. You can do whatever you want outside of work. Even if you weren't doing graphic design as your job, you would have to do something else. And I would rather do graphic design as a job than do another job. I'm just saying. So I think you're being a baby. That's just my opinion. But what does my opinion matter? It doesn't matter to you guys, you random strangers on the internet. Y'all don't care what I have to say. But let's see some of these comments. Okay, so this person says, turns out graphic design is a job, not a fun leisure time activity. And then somebody responded to that one and said, I think OP has hobby and career confused. But somebody else responded to that and said, I don't know, I agree with them. It can be frustrating that even though we learn what's good and we have our own tastes on top of it, we rarely get to do things our way anyways. Most of the time when working a 9 to 5, we are less creatives and more just the machines that crank out our superior's idea of what good design is. Yeah. Very interesting take. Very, very interesting take. I still think that the OP, the original person, is a little bit of a baby. And yeah, I agree with the person who responded. They deleted their account, but hobby and career are two different things. And when you're doing it 9 to 5, you have to look at it from a career standpoint. Like I said earlier, even if you're not a graphic designer, you still can get burnout. You still can just feel like you're meaningless in your job. But you have to have a separate thing as a hobby as well, which your hobby can also be graphic design. You can literally be at work all day, looking at the same boring graphic, but then when you get home, you do your fun stuff. So, or on the weekends, you go look at other people's art and really just rediscover what you love about it. And it's easy to get it, it's hard to draw the line. It's hard to draw the line. That's what I'm trying to say. So, I agree with this responder that you have to Like, if you want to do your own thing and have it be fun, make it a hobby and not a career. Don't go into your absolute passion if you are going to be upset that you can't do what you want as in a job environment. Like, if you want to work in a corporate office, you can't expect to just, like, if they say, like, our brand guidelines are this, but you want to do this, maybe that's not the thing that you should be doing, like, as a job. So that's all I gotta say about that. So I would read more of these, but there's so many. Like I said, there's 261. But I will have all of these linked in the description along with my website if you guys want to look at my stuff. But yes, I will talk to you guys later, and I'm so glad that I got to hang out with you guys and look at some Reddits. Reddit is honestly, like, it's such a crazy place sometimes. It's so funny. It's just one of those places on the internet that it's got everything. Like, it's so crazy. Like, they're the most creative people in the world are on here, but also the dumbest people in the world are on here. So that's why it's so great, because there's just, the duality of man, But I'm glad that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure you like, comment, all of the YouTube things that people do. And make sure you check out my description if you want to look at any of these in depth, if you're a graphic designer that's wanting some resources or just need some motivation. Just know that people online are here for you. If nobody in your real life is a designer, you have online resources, and you can post online and just see if you can get to know some people, or look online for networking events, or just like graphic designer get-togethers. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.